just something for consideration.
That's something we can investigate. Thanks, Rich. Anybody else? Yes, go ahead.
Joe, did you say that it's not going to be lienable, the fines?
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be, I'm sorry.
I want to make sure that that is a lien, otherwise it's a useless fine.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, I'm sorry. It shall not. Any other questions? Go ahead, Tom.
Dollar amount, I didn't hear what.
$1,000.
Well, we were thinking about $1,000 for the violation.
Is that part of the resolution or is that to be determined?
Florida statute is what it is. Go ahead, Shelley.
How do you make sure it's being done? I witnessed 2 votes out there the last week or so.
Well, obviously, we're going to need the entire community's assistance on that because we can't go he said, she said. So we got to immediately call Adam or any of us. And, we'll try to get out there and get that sticker number as fast as possible. I mean, it's going to be a tough little thing to do, but we need to do it.
Take your cell phone if you have one, and we know the votes pretty much, even though you won't be able to pick up the people in the votes. But we'll go after the vote.
I would recommend, I hate to say this, but photographic evidence. I mean, I wouldn't normally point to this, but in order to prove the wake and the boat, there's got to be some type of photographic evidence, not just opinion. And if there's a boat causing a 1 foot wake behind it, I mean, that's an issue. That's what we're trying to avoid. But I got to see it. We've got to be able to, because we don't want to take lightly $1,000 fines. We want to make sure we're really hitting somebody that deserves it.
Yes.
Is this rule going to be sent to everybody in writing, or you just going to email it? Because also some people are not here, they don't watch the meeting, and they come accidentally and they get into the vote without knowing what's going on. I'm recommending you send a physical piece of paper to everybody in the quarry suggesting that this has been approved.
I think we've even talked about putting a sign at the ramp, the boat ramp, and maybe even one over the bridge as you come under the bridge onto the lake.
At least they have it in writing that they will know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can we not ban jet skis from the lake while we're doing the repairs? Because there's no jet ski that's going through there at Isles Green.
Well, it's watercraft, that means jet skis. We're not going to ban them because we've actually, some of the people here are helping us to enforce this that have jet skis.
I understand if it's a repair thing, but there's no one who's going to recreate out there with a jet ski that's going to comply.
Well, the issue is we do have some jet skiers that are taking their jet skis to the other lakes, obviously. We encourage that. I mean, those lakes, from my understanding, haven't had any impact or erosion issues on Heritage Bay. So, by all means, if folks want to take their watercraft at a slow idle speed through our lakes, on over to Heritage Bay Lakes, and they can attempt to do recreation with their by all means.
But remember, part of that lake over there is Hideaway Harbor, and we don't want anybody on the, what I would call the west side of that lake to be having waves.
Any other questions?
I'm confused. Are you encouraging people to vote on Boulder Lake and Heritage Bay Lake, or is that the impression I just got from you? All the Hideaway Harbor shore is as bad as Green Lake.
Right, so if Heritage Bay Lake, when I say Heritage Bay Lake, I mean the third lake that's way over there on their property, doesn't border our property. Yeah, I would definitely not encourage anybody to go on to the lake that borders Highway where they had some of the worst erosion that I've seen in the quarry. Anybody else? Okay. Any other report?
Will we have to revote this, or we add?
If there is language added, it would need to be voted on.
I think we need to take Rich's comments.
Yeah, we'll have to, Richard, vet that, make sure that's something that Florida is allowed.
I mean, Richard, why Rich?
Correct. And I think Richard vet that.
So we won't do the whole vote on this until we add this language. Is that what you're saying?
I think Joe called for a vote on it. I think you guys all did vote on it, so it is passed as it stands. It's up to you guys whether or not you want to add it.
So I think we need something to prevent problems, but we'll
It
have.
could be amended.
Yeah, I was saying, amended.
So it's got to be now. Laura's raising her hand, so
I
she.
can help with that. Serving on the Heritage Bay Umbrella Association for the community, I've reached out to Heritage Bay to find out their erosion results and what they're doing about them. And as soon as I hear back, I'll update our board on that so that we can know if we need to instill the lake throughout or if we're okay on which lakes, et cetera. So we're researching that. But I don't have an answer yet. I just have a communication.
So until we hear from Heritage Bay, like we for all three lakes.
You know, that's up to our board. Our board is the one that makes all of the decisions and the rules and regulations for the three lakes. It would be obviously their call on that. So it's not for me to say.
Any discussion from the board at this time? on that matter?
You know, our lakes, our recreational lakes are our biggest asset, especially, well, to the homeowners association, definitely. And I think we need to be very respectful of the damage that has occurred. I'm not a voter, but I would not advocate that we go flying through Boulder and Heritage Lakes at above lake speed if we do not have the information from them. I think in order to be good neighbors to Heritage Bay, that we just all need to wait until we receive that information. So despite what was said a little bit earlier, I just think we need to just go out and be below wake speed if you want to get out on your boat. And we need to respect that until we give you further information. As part of being a good neighbor, and I think we must do that at this time, given the condition of our lake and not knowing what their issues are. And as Laura said, she's reached out to them. We'll have that information and we can communicate it when we receive it. That would be my
Sure.
opinion.
No, that's great advice. So Laura, when you find out, please let me know, and we will get it out to the rest of the community. I'm going to give you an urban update as far as from my side, from the operational standpoint, where we're at. We've been doing e-blast since, I want to say Tuesday, the day after Irma, trying to provide as much information as possible to the community. I hope that was helpful. You know, we tried to piece together as much as we could with knowing as little as we did, but I hope that was helpful to the community. So where we're at now on specific items. I'll say landscaping for last. We'll touch on some of the quicker items first. We've had our electrician out, Bob Lee Electric, to start making immediate repairs to items that were of danger to the community. Any street light heads that were in a position that could fall, they've resecured and reattached so nothing could happen with those. We had some exposed wiring that they have since secured and capped off and made sure that those would not be a danger to anybody. And now they're currently putting together an estimate for us, for what is known to be damaged that needs to be repaired, and B, there is an unknown factor out there that we still need to get our arms around. There's street lights throughout the community that just don't function. We need to figure out why. From our understanding with the wind impact, the street light fixtures were shaking at a pretty incredible rate, and the housing inside of the fixtures have come loose, wires have broken, bulbs have broken, all sorts of different types of things that could be. So while the electric is working on getting those types of factors together for us. Our sign vendor, Lycan Sign Tech, has been out to the property. They begin assessing what types of poles need to be just removed from the property and rebuilt, what types of poles that have damage that can be repaired on site. Our team, Wayne and Leo, have just yesterday started pushing poles back up that have just been blown over to different degrees, getting those back up, resecuring them, putting concrete holes if necessary, whatever we need to do to try to keep some of that house, keep costs down, and get poles back up so we know where stop signs are at, street signs, directional signs, things of that nature. That quote's coming. They're going to want a material deposit, obviously, for the repairs. Those street light or those street signs are not cheap. They're all custom made for the quarry. There's specific styles of color and function or features and looks. So that quote is coming. We've just recently met with Naples Awning yesterday. to discuss the different shade structures that have taken damage. As you can see from the resort pool deck, we've got varying degrees of damage from being knocked over to being twisted like a pretzel to just losing the canopy. Obviously, those types of vendors are going to be very, very backed up. They've told us it's going to be weeks before they can even do specific types of repairs. We're asking them if we can just get the damaged ones off the property for safety reasons, mainly those two over there that have an option paper around. We hope to get the ball and get that straightened out as soon as possible. Tennis center awnings have taken some minor damage, but noticeable damage. We've got all the shade structures. Some of them have a 30-degree lean to them. They've bent some of the framing on them. We hope that's just a simple bend back and re-weld and fix, but that remains to be seen. We're hoping to get that quote from Maples awning as well too. Again, some of this is just patience, though. Collier County and Lee County, as it is, have a limited amount of vendors for some of this stuff, and the hurricanes just exacerbated their workload, obviously. Last week, we met with our insurance adjuster, myself, Chip, and Jerry Williamson, part of the insurance committee. And Jerry Solomon was there as well too from the finance position. Met with the adjuster, we did a total property tour showing examples of the damage to everything. He took photographic evidence, written evidence. The adjuster will then be coming back to us for the well-documented written report. They're going to submit the claim to our insurance provider, and we will find out what items are covered, what isn't covered, and what's going to fit underneath our deductible. That remains to be seen. Again, this adjuster is nationwide. He's from the Illinois area, and he came down here because of the limited ability of adjusters down here anyways. Let's touch on landscaping. Obviously, one of the biggest issues we have is the QCA. Again, another thing, thanks to Citron. They've been phenomenal as far as getting out here. AJ and I were in contact before and immediately after the hurricane. Jose and I talked on the phone before as well too. We were a number one priority to them, and I think it showed. They had crews out here on Tuesday from both Citron companies, just helping clear the roadways, and then massive amounts of crews on site every day. From there on out, debris removal continued to remove what's dead and attempting to save what we can. So the time frame is followed where we're at right now. All debris should remove from the entire property by the end of 2 weeks. Citron had some trouble with the debris removal company. They have since moved on to a different contractor. Again, the workload for these types of contractors down here, they are slammed. Collier County landfill, they're slammed. There's only so much area for these things to go. There's only so many vendors that can handle this type of pickup for our community. But at the end of 2 weeks, all debris pickup should take place. All trees and bushes that can be saved will be restaked and will be completed over the next 3 to 5 weeks. Obviously, Citron's going to start hitting trees and plant material that is under a tremendous amount of stress and needs to get stood up first, and then they're going to prioritize some of the bigger trees that are doing better later down the road of that 3 to 5 weeks. Stump removal is going to start taking place after reinstalls for common area. The completion date for that for stump removals is unknown at this point because the scope of work could vary from just common area to single-family home sites. We don't know. We're still waiting to make a decision on that from the board. That's my update. Anybody have any questions? Okay.
Who's gonna make the decision on what trees get planted? I mean, they're not gonna, Citron's not gonna come in this room and make every single tree that's out, are they?
So, that is the $1 million question. So we've been taking this in a very strategic, well thought out, if you will, decision process. First and foremost was debris removal, getting things off the roadway. Second part is putting up what's savable. The third part, which is the big question, is what's going to get replaced. I'm not in a position to make that statement or that answer yet. I don't think the board is yet either. We don't even know the financial ramifications of how big, how small, what it's going to be. The right tree choice too. Clearly, oaks are not a good choice for the quarry. So then moving forward, how much of it do we replace? Where do we replace it? Plant material that we replace it with? All things that need to be talked about, landscape committee would want to be involved with that type of conversation as well too. A lot of parts in play here, we just don't know the answer to that. But
I have a few questions. I apologize for so many. One is our insurance cover also landscaping? Because some policies do, some policies don't. That's one question. The second question is the adjuster we are working is part of the insurance company that we belong to, or is he a separate adjuster hired for that purpose on our own? That's second. I have a few more.
hold on, let me do the first two first.
Yeah.
The adjuster was brought through our broker. The adjuster is not part of the insurance company that we have our policy through.
Good.
So that's the first one. Second, your first question remains to be seen. We don't know. There's no clear definition of any landscaping in our policy. Predates me, but Jerry Williams was sharing with Chip and I that there was specific language in previous policy proposals, but the cost was so astronomical, it didn't even make sense years ago for them to move forward with it. Predates me, I don't know, but Jerry's been part of that insurance committee and Paul Andrews for a long time, and they're both in the industry, and they know what the right calculated risks are. So, the rest of your questions.
My experience is that if it doesn't say specific language in the policy, you're not covered.
Correct.
We will have to bear the brunt of the expense. That's good. Third question that I have is really addressed to maybe Cintron. But the question is, I have French drains covers that were screwed in and it survived. But I noticed when I came back to my home yesterday, all my covers that covers the sprinklers line were out. Also, the water meter were out, and I walked around and I finally found them, put them down in. I'm recommending that they get screwed for future losses. You lose your cover, water falls down, you will get damage, especially in the sprinkler line. I have a few more questions, but I'm trying to remember. I'll apologize, I'll take a back seat now.
It's okay.
I'll come back to you later.
Got it? Brian, yes?
For those items that will be covered by insurance, what is the hurricane damage associated deductible?
Our policy is a 2% wind coverage.
2%?
2% of the total value.
Okay.
What, how much?
2% of the total value.
What is the total value?
I'd have to look at the deck page again to see what the total value is. It's in the millions, but I'd have to look at the deck page.
What is the total amount that we are insured for as a community, so we can value the 2%?
I'd have to do that. I don't know that number off the top of my head, I'm sorry. I haven't looked at the deck page in a while. I'd have to go back and look at the deck page of the insurance
50
policy.
million, I mean approximately, I thought I said 50 million, 100 million, 2 million, 3 million?
I would say anywhere between,
It's 4.5 to 5 million.
okay, 4.5 to 5 million. Thank you. And he would know because we have to get the insurance policy readjusted, obviously, with the completion of the two new.
So that would be $90,000 immediately that we prepare.
90.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
So when are we going to raise our quarterly annual assessments?
Well, as mentioned before, we did have a budget workshop previously planned for today. That was one of the meetings that we already had scheduled to just roll out the 2018 budget and start discussions as far as where we needed to be for the budget for next year anyways. My proposal is going to have an increase in dues as it is, just for the basic operations of the community. Again, a lot needs to be determined as far as the payment and how we want to cover, how much we want to cover of replacements. Is this a one-year project, a two-year project, a three-year project? I don't know. Those are decisions that are board decisions, and I'm not putting them on the spot, but these are things that need to be answered eventually, but we all know that, but we just need more information.
I just wanted to add that I'm really glad that we got the line of credit.
Which we took in advance on yesterday for the entire amount, so that we can pay Cintron and the bills that we have to take care of.
Thank you for getting that.
And actually, First Service has offered up an additional line of credit on a corporate level, like an international level, basically. They have $10 million worth of funds, and we applied for another $500,000 in case we need it. At this point in time, they are putting us on hold. They want us to use the first $500,000 we have, and then they said they would work out a long-term solution with us in the near future.
First, I want, on behalf as an owner, I want to thank the staff of the quarry. And second, the board for being so concerned and caring for us. And third, I want to thank the entire community for really a very warm feeling of a family-oriented community. I'm very proud to be an owner here. I'm only here 1 year. And what I've seen from this community, I compliment each and every one of you. And we are lucky to belong to such a great community.
Thank you.
Anything else? I think we should end it. Okay, thank you everybody for coming. We ask for a motion from the board to adjourn the meeting. And a second.